Oh, fresh ink. Yes, it's a tattoo from a photo of my mum's hands making Gok Jai dumplings. I actually haven't shown my mum this, so I'm probably going to get in trouble. Hi, I'm Hetty Lui McKinnon and I'm a cookbook author and food writer, and welcome to Dumpling Week. I chose Gok Jai dumplings, one of the most treasured recipes in my family. These particular Gok Jai dumplings are from Zhongshan, which is where both my parents are from. I grew up in Australia, as you can probably tell. It's the first recipe my mum ever wrote down for me. Some people might know Gok Jai as a very different dumpling. In Zhongshan, it's a savory dumpling in a translucent skin that's steamed. It can feel a little bit intimidating to do, but the more you make them, the better you'll get. Even if they're not the prettiest, they'll still taste good. You're not losing if you make a dumpling, ever. So for the filling, we've got some celery, some carrots. We're going to put our rehydrated, drained and squeezed out mushrooms and woody fungus in there, water chestnuts, some Gok Jai, which is pickled mustard stems, and that's going to add some nice saltiness, some extra firm tofu. So we're going to put that in and we're just going to pulse. Do not puree. You can actually chop by hand if you want, but the food processor just makes it so much faster. We want like nicely chopped pieces, but not like pulverized or pureed. So we're going to heat up a large skillet or fry pan, add a little bit of oil, and then throw all of your filling in. Add some sugar. This is a little trick from my mum. The sugar stops the mushrooms and the woody fungus from just absorbing all the saltiness of the soy sauce, which is going to be added in later. So we're going to cook that for 3 to 5 minutes, just until the vegetables soften and the mushrooms are cooked. Once the soy sauce is in, we're going to turn off the heat and we season with salt and white pepper. And we want this mixture to be quite flavoursome because the wrapper is actually completely neutral in flavour. So we want to season appropriately. So I recommend tasting and adding more if you feel like it. Now what the cornstarch does is that it just absorbs any excess moisture, because we don't want the filling to be saucy. We want it to be quite dry. The next thing we're going to do is make the dough. In a big pot, you're going to add your wheat starch, your tapioca starch, and your potato starch. Get your boiling water and you're going to pour that in right on top of the starch, because we need the heat to cook the starch. I love to use chopsticks because it gives you maximum maneuverability. You're just going to stir the boiling water into the starches. You don't have to get it completely mixed in. You're still going to see some dry bits. And then you're going to put the lid on and we let the starches steam for 10 minutes. And the steam time is really important. That boiling water is going to cook the starches and make it easy to roll later on. The dough is still very hot. So if you want, you can wear some gloves. I usually don't because I've got asbestos hands and I'm used to high heat, but we're going to bring the dough together in the pot with your hands until there's no more dry bits. Then we're going to put a little bit of oil on your countertop and then you're going to knead that dough for 10 minutes. The kneading is really important because it means that when you steam the dough, it's not going to crack. You need to get that kind of elasticity in, and you'll understand it once you eat them because these dumplings are really bouncy. It's a beautiful, rich, kind of white dough. It's almost like snow. So for the dough, you're going to divide that into 6 equal pieces if you can, and you can use scales to weigh them if you like. I usually just eyeball it. Place them on a sheet pan or a plate, and then cover them in a wet cloth. So we're going to work with 1 piece of dough at a time. We're going to roll that into a log that's about 1.5 inches in thickness. And then we're going to cut that into 1-inch pieces. So you should be able to get between 7, 8 or 9 pieces out of each log. Working with these 1-inch pieces, we're going to roll them into a ball. And then we're going to roll them out into a wrapper that is about 3.5 inches in diameter. You can either roll them by hand by just pressing them out. I like to use a tortilla press, which is how my mum makes these. That's what she uses in her house. A tortilla press makes really quick work of the task of rolling. So then we're going to add our filling. I like to use about 2 teaspoons. You can use more or less. If you're new to dumpling making, I always say use less filling, and as you get more confident rolling, add more. Fold the dumpling over, and then we're going to seal the edge. Now, this dumpling is quite a tacky dough, so you don't need any water. We're just going to press them together all the way around, so you almost create a border for yourself. Then we're going to crimp them. You basically use your thumb and your index finger. They're doing your hard work, and you're going to press down with your thumb to create a little bit of a pleat, and then we're going to keep working all the way around. It's quite hard to explain, but lucky you have this video. And then once you're done, we move on to steaming. I use the bamboo steamers. You can really steam them in many layers. Line the steamers with either parchment paper or some silicone liners. You can also use Napa cabbage or something like that. Put the dumplings on the top, not touching if you can. A wok is great because the large size bamboo steamer kind of fits perfectly in there. The water actually steams off really fast, so every few minutes I would be kind of adding more water to the wok. Before they're ready, they're going to be still quite white. But once they're ready, you're going to start seeing a little bit of translucency. As they sit and cool, they're going to become much more translucent, and you're going to see the filling through the wrapper. So they're very, very beautiful. These are my family's Gok Jai dumplings. I don't eat these with any sauce, but if you wanted a sauce, you could go chili crisp or something. All right. The big tasting. The dough is so bouncy, it's so chewy. It's like the most satisfying dumpling. I kind of feel like when you're making a recipe that belongs to your family, it doesn't belong to me, it belongs to my ancestors. And so I want to make it as true to the way they would have made it as I can. From my family to yours, I hope you really enjoy making these. I hope you try them, I hope you love them, and I hope you love sharing them with your friends. And happy Lunar New Year. If you're looking for this recipe or any of the dumpling recipes, you can get it over at NYT Cooking. I could eat all of these in about 5 seconds. That's why you need to make 48 of them.